That calls for accountability, climate change. The 28th Conference on the Parties on Climate Change, COP28 in other words, is underway in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. President Cyril Ramaphosa will join other leaders at the gathering. Ahead of the COP28, many countries around the world are grappling with the challenges of climate change. The conference will have to come up with solutions to address these challenges. SABC's international news editor Sophie Mokoena is in Dubai and joins us live. Sophie, it feels like the stakes here are very high.
Well, indeed, the stakes are very high. You know that the issue of climate change is a huge challenge around the world. We saw countries suffering from climate change, the impact thereof. We cannot forget what transpired in KZN a year ago during those heavy floods. And with the season approaching in relation to heavy rains, there's already fears that countries are going to be affected in the southern hemisphere. But also the critical issue is how do you get multinational institutions, particularly those with finances, to finance programs aimed at addressing issues related to climate change. I spoke to Stephen Anderson, the representative of PwC earlier on, where he emphasized that it is critical for countries to partner with financial institutions, private sector, to assist in addressing challenges of climate change. He made an example that it is a huge investment. For example, there was an investigation done by PwC or research by PwC in relation to West Africa, number of people who must access electricity. Those are the people and the households that you can use to introduce the renewables. But we know that when you look at the grid, in different countries, electricity grid, it is a problem. Therefore, you need money to invest in technology to change the systems. And he pointed out that that could also assist in the recovery of the economy. You know that during COVID-19, the war in Ukraine, the countries are struggling to revive their economies.
Sophie, so President Cyril Ramaphosa will be there, I imagine many African leaders. What is the specific message do you think South Africa will want to take? Of course, we are one of the countries deeply affected, calling for some sort of compensation so we can also industrialize or use technology and catch up, as it were, without creating emissions or being punished by big countries that have gone before us?
Well, you know very well that the president has been very vocal in terms of pushing the developed countries, the developed north, to ensure that they make money available for developing countries, particularly countries in the south, to be able to address the issue of climate change. You know that much as countries such as South Africa are classified as developed countries in relation to industrialization, the issue here is that it is the very same developed countries who colonized Africa, who gained a lot during that industrialization on the continent, not the countries themselves. And therefore saying that the commitment that was made in Paris, where countries made a commitment to make available $100 billion to assist developing countries, very few did honor that commitment, and therefore they must do more. Secondly, you know that there's been a call that there must be transformation of the financial system so that the developing countries and poorer countries, when they access these loans, they don't pay interest that are heavy, some of them equal to their own GDPs. And therefore it is important for financial system to change. The IMF, the World Bank must make resources available, particularly after COVID-19. And therefore, climate change, to address it, there must be political will. There must also be a will from private sector to partner with countries.
All right, thank you very much. SABC's international editor Sophie Mokoena.